Welcome students. Welcome to the lecture in Research Methodology, Bioinformatics and Biostatistics. Today we are covering module number 10, that is Tabulation and Generation of Graphs under the Unit 2, Data Collection and Documentation of Observation. Outline: Introduction to Tabulation, Importance of Tabulation and Generation of Graphs, and then Data Presentation. Learning outcomes: students will be able to illustrate the data in a table form, apply the basic knowledge of tabulation and generation of graphs in their research. Data presentation. Data which is collected for statistical analysis are first compiled and systematically arranged. Haphazard raw data do not express any fact, so data presentation makes the data simple, concise, interesting, and it is helpful for further analysis. The different methods of data presentation are as follows. First is tabular form. Second, graphic or diagrammatic form. Third, text form. Fourth, pictorial form. And the fifth one is cartographic presentation, which is done through maps. Now let's have a look at the tabular presentation of data. Here the data is presented in a table form. It is arranged in rows and columns. Now the table should have a title which has all the details and the features. Based on the tabular presentation, there are two types of tables. The first one is reference, general, or a source table. The second type is summary, text, analytical table. Now you will wonder why there is a need for a table. You should understand that the data which is collected has to be properly constructed and placed in a table form. It helps in presenting information in a concise manner. It also helps to analyze the review of literature, materials and methods quickly. It should be used only when there is need, and the use of table eliminates the monotony of repeating the same matter. Now the things to remember when you are presenting a data in tabular form. Same data should never be presented in both the text and the table. The data which is presented in the table can be highlighted in the text. Every table should be introduced first in any research report. The table should be always placed near the text. Let's have a look at the format of the table. Now, the title of the table should start with the first capital letter. The title should have all the details and the features of the table. The table number should be provided to the table, and it should be serially numbered in the research work and the research report. The serial number should be included as the first column in the table with the headings 1, 2 and so on, and the labels should be written downwards. Now the class intervals should have equal width. The units of measurement has to be mentioned in the table, and the source of data has to be maintained if it is not an original work. The groups can be in ascending or descending order. So this is how the format of the table should look like. Also, when you have a zero quantity or non-avoidable data, it should be shown by the letter N.A. That means not available, or by a dash. Use of abbreviations should be avoided in a table, and dicto mark should not be used. Now let's see what are the different types of data presentation methods. Graphs and diagrams. Graph or a chart is a visual form of presenting data. It is attractive and it helps in comparison of the data. The figures and the graphs are introduced in the text, wherein numbering of figures and caption is included. The graphs can be generated through computer technology, and proper font type and size should be used, and it should be readable. The different types of graphs and diagrams are as follows. There are three categories. First is quantitative, that is measurable data, wherein you can use histogram, frequency polygon, frequency curve, scatter or dot diagram. The second one is qualitative. The qualitative type includes bar graphs, pie chart, pictogram and map diagram. And the last one is line diagram. Now here are the commonly used forms of graphs and diagrams. We'll have a look at a line chart, bar chart, histogram and frequency polygon, also pie chart and circular chart. Line chart. It is presented through simple lines and it is used when distribution is not continuous. The sample points here are distantly separated. Let's take an example of rice production in some states of India during the period 2015 to 2020. Here, as you can see in the table, we have here 4 states, that is Punjab, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Goa, and the production of rice is given in lakh tons. So when you generate a line graph, it looks something like this. The graph has a figure name, figure number, and the line chart is shown in blue. The production in lakh tons is given on the y-axis and the states are on x-axis. Second, bar graph and histogram. A bar chart is a graph that consists rectangles of variable heights of equal width. The rectangles here are called as bars. They may be simple, double, triple or multiple bar diagrams. The histograms are used for continuous variables. Now these are some examples of how a bar graph looks like. When you have a single data, 2 data and 3 data, that is multiple type. Then this is how a histogram looks like when you have continuous variables. There is no space between 2 bars. The third type is pie chart or circular chart. Here the data is presented in a pie chart. When the data is in percentage form, they can be represented in the form of a pie. Now you will know that the circle has 360 degrees angle. So the area of circle is considered as 100%, which is equal to 360 degrees. So 1% of 360 degrees comes to 3.6 degrees. So let's take an example here. The pigment analysis of a plant gave the following data of the pigments in percentage. So what you do is you multiply these values by 3.6 degrees and then you get the degrees to which a pie chart will be seen. So in calculations, you can see that chlorophyll content will be multiplied, which comes to 237.6 degrees, xanthophylls will be 79.2 degree, carotenes will be 8 into 3.6 degrees, that comes to 28.8 degrees, and anthocyanins will be given as 14.4 degrees. So this is the data which is presentable when you present it in a pie chart form. These are the references you can read for further information. Thank you.